It's the Gitty Guy Show, Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Guy Show, Cigar Box Nation TV. The last episode of the Gitty Guy Show. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. And we're coming to you live from CB Gitty. It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
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 It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Box Nation TV. Well, hello and welcome to the Gitty Gang Show, our anniversary show. It's been 52 weeks. Which makes it exactly this many years since we sat on this very stage, although it was in a different location at the time, and did our first show. So I'd like to say a special thank you to Mr. Glenn Watt here. He's been on vacation all week, and he took a break from taking a break to come in and sit here and be a part
rub it in our faces
of the one-year show. I'd like to thank Nick Lanciano over behind the producer's desk. Well, I should point here because this is where you're seeing it.
Yeah.
To us, he's over there. To you, he's right here. And Farley's going to be stopping in a few minutes to talk a bit. So it's going to be a great time here on this one-year anniversary show. I just want to say, even though it is Friday the 13th, we launched this on a Friday the 14th last year. This is Friday the 13th, but we don't care. Everything's going to go at least as well as it usually does. So that gives you a little taste.
It's funny because the first time we sat down with the intention of anything Gitty Guys at the time.
Yeah, Gitty Guy Show.
It was July 13th of last year. We were all sitting in the same room. That's where we got all those other videos.
Cooked up the plan for.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to look as if I'm looking to where. Yes,
yeah.
Nick, that is right. Yeah. Yeah, hey, Farley's out there right now, waiting for her cue, I think. So, just a few things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be sharing some memories from the past, some clips that Nick was good enough to put together this week from past shows, past performances. We're going to be talking about some of the things that have happened over the past year, thanking a bunch of people, because I feel like even though we say thank you a lot, it still isn't enough for those of you out there who take time out of your day, out of your week to watch these shows and interact with us. We've got the screen going here so we can see comments and a lot of the names of our good friends popping up there, and we appreciate it so much. Also, just briefly, going to be doing a giveaway this week. It's been a few weeks since we've done a giveaway, and because it's a special show, we got kind of a twofer, multi-part deal here. First, 5 $75 gift certificates for anyone who shares, yeah, that's what? It's a lot. $350 total worth of free stuff that we're going to be giving $75 gift certificates to 5 people who publicly share this show on Facebook. Most of you have heard the spiel, not what's the deal with spiel, but the other kind of spiel, a number of times about how you share publicly. You got to choose public when you click the share button so that we can see that you've shared it, and we very much appreciate that. So a little shopping spree opportunity for 5 folks out there, chosen randomly from amongst all of the people who we hope will share this show. Also, special contest thingy number 2, I'm going to be giving away one of my handmade hobo fiddles. I just finished this one up this past week. It's been on the bench for quite a while, but I just finished her up using one of those old antique King Edward's boxes that were salvaged from a VFW hall in Emporium, Pennsylvania. Got the railroad number nail up there. Gonna be giving one of these away. Now, you gotta do a little bit more than share the show.
This is awesome.
To win this. Okay, I just came up with this morning. Don't know if it's gonna work, but I want to try it. We're gonna be doing this over the next 3 weeks. To be entered to win this hobo fiddle and all the stuff that comes with it, what I want you to do is make a short video of you basically sending a shout out to the Gitty Gang show. Just like, hey, this is, for instance, this is Rusty Taylor saying, hey to the Gitty Gang, happy picking. Boom. That's all it's got to be. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Email it to us, cbgitty@cbgitty.com. Hopefully the file size won't be that big. Just do it with your phone. Email it. Our intrepid producer / video editor Nick will smash all of them together into a montage and we'll run it, and you'll be entered to win a hobo fiddle. So, hopefully, I know some people will take part in that, but we'd love to hear from as many of you as possible and see you, hear your voice, and be able to share all of that back with all of you in the weeks to come. So yes,
I think that's great.
win yourself a hobo fiddle.
Aren't you?
By God, why not? Just give it away.
I'd also like to say hi to all those watching us on YouTube.
YouTube! Yeah, we're simulcasting onto YouTube. One of the things that has transpired in the past year was the ability to multicast, I guess you'd call it, and be on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So yes, hello to all on YouTube, and YouTube people can get in on the entries for this hobo fiddle, because, you know, to be entered in the other one, you got to share it on Facebook. Not everyone's on Facebook, such as it is. All right, so we've got our first retrospective, our first blast from the past, a clip of that happened on this very stage from one of my favorite shows, the St. Patrick's Day Irish sing-along, hoolie, whatever you wanted to call it, session that we had here. Here's me and my friends Kim Starling, Tyler Foss, and Patrick Boyle singing the old Irish classic, The Holy Ground.
The talent
Not
adjuster
gonna make
is
a
in
difference, but
place.
what key are we in?
C.
Okay. Very well, my lovely Dinah, 1,000 times adieu. We are going away from the holy ground, and the girls we all love true. We will sail the salt sea over, and we'll return for shore to see again the girls we love at the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are, you're the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are. And now the storm is raging, and we are far from shore, and the good old ship is tossing about, and the rigging is all torn. And the secret of my love, you're the girl I do adore. And see until see again the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are, you're the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are! Now the storm is over, and we are safe and well. We will go into a public house, and we'll sit and drink a pill. We will drink strong ale and porter, and we'll make the rafters roar. And when our money is all spent, we will go to sea once more. Fine girl you are, you're the girl I do adore. Still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are!
I tell you what, that really was a good time. And speaking of good times, we've got Farley Andreessen joining us on stage. If you remember back to the early days, the first couple of shows was me and Glenn.
Yeah.
And then Farley started joining us, and we realized quickly that we had to change the original name of the Gitty Guys show to be the Gitty Gang Show.
That's right.
And it's been awesome ever since. So Farley, thanks for joining in. We're going to be sharing some of Farley's artwork in a little bit, both some of the things that you do for yourself, basically, your artwork, and then some of the illustration type work you've been doing for CB Gitty here. So that's coming up. But first, I mentioned earlier, you know, how often we say thank you, and we thank the people watching. But there really are some of the folks, and I see their names out there right now, that every week you're out there commenting, sharing and liking and chiming in and asking questions and sharing tips and comments. So, you know, some of those names, I was going back through some of the older shows, like all the way back to the first one, looking at the names in the comments and the likes. And, you know, Shane Spiel, of course, is out there almost every week, sharing links and manning the comments, or running the comments as we call it, basically helping to answer questions and share links. And then folks like Matthew Simpson, Magic Daddy, Rusty Taylor, Rob Roble, our good buddy Marty Tauber, Jim Burt, who's out there right now.
Roll Tide.
Michael Capato, John McKee, Dano Schultz almost always has an encouraging comment to leave on the shows. I always love reading Dano's comments there. Henry Lohman, Gary Hansen, Charles Dustin Aron, Wade Kostenbader, Tim Henderson, Chris McKinney, Fungi Mojo, I saw his name out. There's Wade. Where am I at? Louis Lamanna, Chris Binge, Curtis Tate, Chris Dickens, Rick Flink. I saw Rick out there just a minute ago. Damon Park, Rick Gainey, Eric Denton, who's been a customer of CB Gitty for a long time. Russ Cowles, Amzie Adams, our buddy Amzie down there in New Orleans. He sent me a video message the other day, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, but it was perfectly Amzie.
He sent one this morning. He was carrying a picture.
Yeah, carrying the painting.
He's like, oh, something about a cup of tea.
And off he goes. Like, yeah, that's it. Stephen Two Hawks Reed, my own dear mother, Janet Baker Hughes, whose name I saw fly by there a moment ago. Jim Morris and his wife Kim, Chris Weems, John Legacy, Ryan Mackey, Brian Lehman, Kathy Mueller, Chat Collins, Kirk Otto, and so many, many more. Dawn Ravenscraft Baker, Mrs. Gitty herself out there. So just, there's so many more names that I'd like to be able to rattle off, but thank you to all of you, not just for watching, not for being fans, but for being a part of this, for interacting with us and helping to make the show what it is. And I know I'm doing a lot of talking, I promise. Other people will talk.
You're better at it than we are.
Before the end of the show, me just rambling on, blah, blah, blah. Well, when we were first setting this up, we didn't know that our own GT Dub here was going to be coming in and joining us. So I was like, yes, now it's a show. It was going to be kind of, it was going to be a little sad face. Like, well, Glenn couldn't be here, but he deserves a vacation.
Well, we should break it. We don't have a Watt corner, though, but we do have Watts, so that's...
Hey, 1 out of 2.
The worst half.
Well, I tried to make up a little bit for the Watt by, like, names and thanking and
but
everything.
we do. Farley has her own corner today, so it kind of works.
Yeah, we were trying to come up with a name for it and didn't get very far. So,
Art corner.
that last batch of thanks were for the people, for those of you who join in and watch the show. Then, of course, we've got the ones who have been here on the stage, in front of the camera. Glenn and Farley, I want to thank you both so much for being willing to sit up here and be a part of what is sometimes a rather impromptu, unscripted, make it up as you go sort of deal. And Nick back there behind the producer's desk, putting up with often hurried, garbled, last-minute instructions like, hey, I want to add this, can we do it? And mashing the buttons and making it all work, in addition to occasionally getting up here in front of the camera to share his musical stylings with us. Of course, I already mentioned Shane Spiel almost every week down there, occasionally running the show entirely from his studio or wood shop there in York. but contributing the videos that he makes, the What's the Deal with Spiel. Kim Starling, often stepping in to help us with her vocal talents and at times general organizational ability to help keep us on track. And then Tyler Foss, my good friend Tyler Foss, who's been in a number of times. David Comtois, who's come up I think he's been up 3 times now. He offered to come up for this show. I never quite did get back to him. I ended up not having as much time as I had hoped to plan this out. So if you're waiting for really fancy bells and whistles, folks, keep waiting. It might be coming, but then again, it might not.
It might be an accident.
We've had Marty Tauber stop by and be on the show. I watched that one just earlier. That was a really good time. As you saw earlier, Patrick Boyle, my good friend Pat Boyle, coming in for the Irish show there. Dawn Mrs. Gitty Baker, having been on a past show. Laurel Caldwell stepped in to help me sing a Ripple, I think. The old Grateful Dead song. Awesome. Laurel sat in. Of course, we've got the somewhat rare appearances of Jason the Panda Munoz on assorted shows there. Jeff Rich, Dale Vigent has stepped in. It's been a real good time helping to make the show what it is. And again, a thank you to all of you out there watching, Jason Gleason and Tom Schaefer. We already mentioned Jim Burt, Bob Rawson. It's awesome. Thank you for being a part of it. Really appreciate it. Because really, through Walk Corner and through other features we've done, you all have been a big part of the show from the beginning, sharing the work that you do, and that's part of the idea of this giveaway of the Hobo Fiddle, asking you to send us short videos, send us shout outs so that we can include you on the show, because it wouldn't be what it is without you.
I agree.
But see, I told you he'd talk. Well done, sir. Yes. Oh, fair enough.
Well, I was going to just say how grateful I am for to be able to have been a part of this thing for as long as we've been doing it, and I always feel really valued by you guys and I really do. Just anything I share, I feel appreciated, and I have just so many good memories of being in the other room. It was a little bit tighter than this,
that's smaller.
but it was it was just as warm though.
Hey, we got an air conditioner now. If you hear a slight hum in the background, I chose to not turn the AC off today, so it's running back there. It's fairly quiet.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say I'm glad that you're back.
It's
I had a bit of a sabbatical in there, and now she's back, and things are happening.
That's
so
right.
it's awesome.
I'm happy to be back.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So just briefly, before we go to our next flashback, as it were, just to talk briefly about what have been some of our favorite shows, some of our favorite moments on the show. One of them you've already seen, for me, and Nick, I believe, as well, the Irish show. Glenn helped me open it, and then you kind of, well, we went for 3 hours. You were at home by the end of it.
He's like, it's 3:30.
I gotta go. But that was I had a great time. I think Nick jumping up here and singing the Night the Old Dun Cow Caught Fire.
Yeah.
We had a great time. So that show's one of the highlights for me. Then there was one earlier on that you both were a part of. And Farley, you kicked that part of it off.
Oh, with the strumming.
Yeah, what I call
the
the slow jam that we did, where some of you maybe remember it. It started off
with the only thing I can play. Repeating it.
Yeah. And then Glenn stepped up and started on the bass, and then I came in on cigar box guitar, and then Nick sat in, and we went for
that was really fun.
7 or 8 minutes.
That was really fun.
Glenn, you were doing this thing with your thumb on the bass, like doing a little bit of rhythm.
I haven't seen it, so.
You were there.
I haven't seen it since.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of cool parts of that whole jam session. Like parts of I gotta figure out how that's played so that I can work that into songs later on.
Well, I was listening to what I was playing. I'm like, what the hell was I doing? Who is that guy? I don't know. Well, there was actually.
Well, we were in G, right? It was just jam in G.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
I don't even remember
that riff. It's been a while. That was in the early days. Well, there's actually, even before the Gitty Gang show officially started, back when it was Cigar Box Nation TV, it still is, but back when that's when we were, what we were calling it, we had that 13 Dead Men concert.
That was cool.
On the main stage, the door of which is right over there.
Yeah.
And Shane did a song during that. I can't even remember what song it was, but I was doing something. I like found this spot that fit and just kept doing it. No idea what it was. So sometimes stuff comes to you on the fly. Getting a lot of love over here. A lot of welcome back Farleys.
A lot of compliments on the haircut.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, looks have changed. I was telling Nick if we had had time, we should have done I guess we could do a Farley hair retrospective,
Yeah.
but Glenn beard progression
Yep,
over
all
the
the
course of
different
the
looks.
last year. Yeah.
That would be fun.
I look the same. I haven't changed. Maybe a little bit, but
No.
you'll have that. Another favorite, the Christmas sing-along that we did on the Mills stage last year. Tyler Foss came in. Dawn got up there a little bit, kind of
That's
singing
right,
some
yeah.
Christmas songs and playing. That was a good time. And the times that we've had special guests,
Yeah.
like when Marty came down from Maine, Marty Tauber joined us. David Comtois, I think 3 times now, it always brings an uplifting spark to the show.
I think
So
when David was here, the video that has the most views at the moment is the second time he was here, I believe.
What
the
were we
3 of
doing
you
that
in the
time?
Juke Shack. Wow. It was right after you built the Coke Crate guitar.
Oh,
And he busted that out, the 3-string Carver kit. He was
that's
shredding
right.
on
Yeah.
that. He was shredding on everything.
Well,
he put
that's
his hands
the
on.
reason I think that had the highest view count was because the school, David's a music teacher at a charter school down in Massachusetts, and I think he had the whole damn school watching, tuned in that day.
Oh,
so-
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they
That's
might have
right.
shared it. It was, I think, like 55,000, something like that.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Wow.
And part of what makes David Comtois so special is that he is so talented, he is so enthusiastic, he's so nice, and he does everything with this much pretense. This much pretense. There's no pomp, there's no anything with that guy. He's just an
Good guy.
outstanding
Yeah.
man who's come and like he's willing to be a part of something because it's exciting to him, and he sees the excitement and what it is that's happening here with you, and he wants to be a part of it, and I just really appreciate that about David.
Every
It's
time he
really
comes,
good
he's
stuff.
like, sorry.
No, please.
He teaches us something. Like the
Yeah,
last time
absolutely.
we were sitting down playing Croce. There we go.
Yep.
Leroy Brown.
Brown. Yeah.
And he's like, well, wait. If we do this, everyone will be on the
Oh
same
yeah,
page.
the chord progression. Because
Yeah.
I was butchering it. I'll just blah 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 along. He's like, let's get the progression down nicely. Like, why don't we get this down? Like, okay, and then
That's a great
it was a
idea.
lot better after that somehow. So yeah, what a great idea. Let's all
cool.
play the same song at the same time. So yeah, a lot of good if you have memories of something about a past show that was your favorite, let us know in the comments. I'd love to see what has stood out for people. I know the how-to, where we're actually like doing stuff up
Yeah.
on stage, is always impressive. There was one show we did out in the shop where Glenn and I are standing there babbling away, and Farley's in the background like making something.
Yeah, those
The
are my
whole
favorite.
time, like,
yeah,
and then like, here's a guitar I just made. And, like,
right.
It's pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah.
it used to be a thing
The
like when-
pizza box one.
The pizza,
The
yeah.
Yeah.
pizza
Or maybe
box,
that, yeah,
that was
yeah,
one, yeah.
it's good ones.
So that used to be a thing when we were doing bedside broadcast, was the hammering in the background. It was always
Bang,
Farley
bang, bang,
banging
bang.
on
Yeah.
either frets
Fretting, yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I like that one where for a little while you had the camera set up and you could see people walking by. And
Oh, in the
up
window,
there, and people in the shop,
And-
and they would come, would
And
come
a
up
head
and do
coming
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
It was a little freaky though, sitting
Yeah.
here babbling and
Distracting,
something
yeah.
over your own shoulder.
Yeah.
But cool. Yeah.
That was fun.
All right, well, we've got another performance flashback for you here from, it was just a couple of weeks ago, I think, the jam session we did, or was it before that?
That's the one that you were talking about, the
Oh.
one where Farley started.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we've got it
Oh,
for
you
you
got
right
it.
now, that
Yay.
very clip. So here you go. We'll be right back. There's audio. All right, we're back.
Yay.
Thank you. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. A lot of people asking how we played it, how to play it, all of that. Honestly, folks, we don't know.
That's what I said.
Sometimes things like that just happen.
That's all
So,
I feel.
what you see on screen right now is some of Farley's artwork.
Yeah.
Those of you who are friends with her on Facebook may have seen some of the posts that she's done of it. We got a few pieces, and I know on a phone, us up here in the corner, we're very small, but don't worry about that. Don't look at us. What you're supposed to be looking at is the artwork. Farley, tell us about this.
All right.
It's a sort of whimsical, almost fairy tale-ish.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, thank you for sharing my art, and thank you guys for caring. But yeah, a lot of my artwork has kind of a common theme, and living with less, and it's usually kind of whimsical and kind of Dr. Seussy, which I think is an incredible compliment. So I'll take that. But so yeah, this is a tree, and you know, they might be fairies, or they might just be little people, or you know, it's hard to say. And it could be a duplex or maybe a triplex, and it just is kind of something I made up out of my head and put together some of the elements that are interesting to me.
I noticed a lot of islands, a
Yes,
lot of
yeah.
seclusion, I guess, being a recurrent theme.
Exactly. These,
And
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say that these are kind of the inside of my mind, or what I imagine would be a awesome scenario.
Rob Roble says, compares it to possibly a hobbit house,
Yes.
like the Tolkien-esque
Yeah.
hobbits.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was always into forts, tree houses, hobbit holes, just any kind of small house, any kind of, you know, unconventional living, and that's kind of how I still like to live, really.
Yeah. Now, in a lot of these, I was looking at this one on the screen here. I don't see a cigar box guitar in this one, but
Right.
if you look closely at some of these that are to come, you will
Yeah.
see you'll see cigar box guitars cropping up and
Yeah.
popping up in there.
I definitely think you can go to the next
Yeah,
one.
we'll go to the
if you
next
want,
one
Nick.
here, Nick.
But my art, I feel like really goes along with some of the same ideas that cigar box guitars have. The less is more, do-it-yourself
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and I think that's why I was drawn to you guys initially. So this is a picture of a rendition of my tiny house that I built and lived in for 3 years.
Look, just when
Yeah.
it comes to DIY,
Yeah.
building your own living quarters and living in it for 3 years,
Exactly.
that's some pretty intense DIY
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, exactly. It was a real learning experience, the building and the living in it. I learned a lot. It was a lot of fun. But so this is just, again, kind of a night sky. This is, you know, some imaginary landscape that I put the tiny house in, and a couple of chairs. Imagine some people being able to sit out there at night and just watching the stars. And I love that idea of the light coming out of the tiny house. Imagine that there's people in there doing things, having fun, and yeah. So that's that one.
Very cool.
Stevens on YouTube says, "Can you put that on a box for me?"
Well, actually, it's funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
'Cause that idea is in the works.
That's right.
Doing one of our limited edition box tops featuring some art by Farley.
Yes.
Now here's another secluded little house there with a tree growing out of it.
Yeah,
looks
so
like.
this is, again, kind of that Dr. Seussy imaginary, and I always have these ideas imagining like a tiny house village, or what living could be like if everybody had their own tiny house. So you can see in the background there are other little tiny houses, very individual and different from one another.
Everybody gets their own
Everybody
hilltop.
gets
it
their
looks like.
their own hilltop, and so I just love that kind of playfulness. And then there's a tree on the top with a ridiculous, you know, hammock that that you could sit on at night, and yeah, so it's just more imagination and fun, really.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, and so this one is actually a drawing of the inside of my tiny house.
Kind of like a fisheye lens sort of view of the actual interior.
The actual interior, and there are a couple of guitars, cigar box guitar and handmade guitar.
On the
sitting on the couch
back
there.
Yeah.
And it's a little ladder that goes up to the loft. And I don't know if you can see it all, but that was really fun. I just love the idea of all the little details. You know, the paper towel roll, the coffee cups, the vegetables on the countertop, and just having fun.
Jason Gleason says he's making or building a model based on the house design.
Cool.
Oh. Like a 3D model?
Jason, if you'd like to give us more information, to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe an actual
And
model.
Rich Cruz is asking what medium you're using.
I think for that bluish one, or whether it was watercolor and ink, or
Yeah, most of them all start out with pencil, and then I continue to layer it up a whole bunch of times, and then I'll put it into my iPad Pro sometimes, and then add some color, and just do all kinds of crazy things. Pop in some lights that are really fun, and so it's kind of a combination of old school with modern technology. And then, is this the last one, or is there another thing? I can't remember. Okay.
Well, but this is the last of the first series.
Yeah, so this is the same idea. It's a tiny house on an island. I think there's a couple of cigar box guitars right there in the
leaning against
front
the
yard,
chairs
as
there.
if someone was playing and they went inside to get something to drink or something. And I love that little boat, that little rowboat, as if you could just row out to your own island and hang your clothing up to dry. And
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that's the series of things that you've been doing on your own, exploring some of these ideas. Now the next batch, pull the first one up there, Nick. I've been having Farley do some sketch and illustration work while here at CB Gitty of something very near and dear to my heart, which is the story of the hobos and the traveling people. So here's a sketch, and some of these, the first few are from actual photos that she's sketched, and then the last one is an original. So here's a hobo getting on a train, line of boxcars there, probably back in the 1920s. The next one is a group of hobos sitting around a campfire. Now some of these we've been talking will form the basis for new original pieces that incorporate some of these elements, but then add in the hobo fiddles to the scene as well. So this was a really good photograph here, and an awesome sketch from that photograph of a hobo jungle. The hobos sitting around the camp waiting to catch out on the next train.
I really liked that one. I had a lot of fun with all the different expressions, their faces, and it just seemed so authentic. I love that.
Clay Clark is asking about wood-burning stencils. That's an interesting idea, or even a lightly engraved wood burn by number kind of thing I've been kicking around for a while. So here's another image, couple of road kids, young hobos, one helping another up into an empty boxcar with that open door, which in hobo lingo they'd call those side door Pullmans. You know, the Pullman was the passenger coach that paying customers would ride on. The side door Pullman was the empty boxcar that the non-paying passengers would climb up into. And then the next image we got here, now this is the one that's the original. This is Farley's rendition of my idea of Three-String Sam, the hobo who built his first guitar out there on the rails while traveling the rails as a hobo. And you see in this image, which is part of a series, the steam train going by behind him, and then he's looking down there at some of his parts. He's got his cigar box, he's got his neck, he's got some other bits put together. Now you're all talking about wood burning out there. We've got this, my most recent hobo fiddle, number 4, features that exact same artwork. Took Farley's sketch, did an ink transfer print onto the box, and then wood burned it in.
I think it looks perfect on there. I love
it. It came out really good. Actually, aside from the first hobo fiddle, where I wood burnt in the design that was already on the cigar box, all of the others here feature wood burnings of sketches that you've done.
That is so cool.
We've got Let's see, number 3. Glenn, you can come on back. Glenn's been standing in the wings over there. Come on back in. This is number 3, and that's got a steam engine there designed that, and I've been showing these off multiple weeks. So, and actually this is the only one I've listed for sale, which was hard for me to do, and overnight it's sold.
Hey, no kidding.
It's going to be going to Japan to a nice man there who decided to buy it, and
That's awesome.
it's bittersweet. I hate to see it go. I hate to see any of them go. I hate to list them or sell them at all, but by God, that one's going. So that's that steam engine sketch that you did on there, and then put the oval around it. I think you put the oval around, then I added some other elements there.
Yep.
So that was number 3.
I'll give it a quick up to the camera.
This is number 4. Where's number 2? Because number 2 has that other sketch you did.
Oh, it's right behind for
right here.
down there.
Oh.
That was number 3. Number 3. Here's number 2. You just saw this sketch there in the ones that Farley has done. See the hobo getting on the train there. So it's a whole mess of hobo fiddles, and I got the next 2 also, both featuring Farley sketches. This is going to be number 5. This I don't even think was a cigar box because it's made out of oak. I think it's a jewelry box or something, but it's got old Gitty's handmaids there. And Farley, you came up with that whole
that
design.
little logo, yeah.
And then this one, going to be number 6, has the hand cart. 4 guys on a hand cart there. The track gangs.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The people, often the people who would do that kind of track laying work and track maintenance work would be hobos, because a lot of the hobos traveled around the country looking for work. Yeah, I'm getting all filled up over here.
That pick on top. Gotta pick in your left hand.
There we go. Get all this situated. So yeah, all of these hobo fiddles, the 5 so far, all featuring Farley's sketch art. So very happy that you're back, back in the shop, back at the drawing desk, all sorts of good stuff going on.
I just gotta say again, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to share my art, and just the kind words that you guys give me, and being able to put them on really important things, and I'm flattered by the whole thing. And
Well, cool.
it's awesome.
I'm glad
Thank
that you're
you.
willing to do it.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And like someone asked, having some of your original art as a limited edition box top, or even, we're looking at prints and all sorts of stuff.
Preston
So,
Daniels says would make a great bumper sticker.
Ah,
yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
You
awesome.
know, he'd make it great on the poster.
Yeah.
Posters,
Yeah.
all sorts of options.
A lot
So
of
many
options.
options.
I wouldn't mind a Farley art guitar. That'd be awesome.
All right, so we've got another retrospective video for you here, a montage that Nick put together, clips from past shows, actually a number of blooper-ish.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that
A little bit of the behind the scenes of us fumbling around
Pretending
trying
to
to
know
get
what we
ready
do.
for shows. So hope you enjoy this. We'll be back in a few moments. Actually, I think it'll just be me when we come back. Got a few more words to say. Actually, no. We'll see who's here when we come back. All right, here's the video. It's the Gitty Guy Show, Cigar Box Nation TV. It's the Gitty Guy Show, Cigar Box Nation TV. The last episode of the Gitty Guy Show.
Make it count.
Stop. I've also got some news that this is the last Gitty Guys show. Because next week it is going to be reborn as the Gitty Gang Show. Woo! Gitty Gang Show. There was a segment of this video, Nick, that involved duct tape, and it went on for a while, right?
Yeah, I got to watch Glenn mess around with duct tape for about an hour.
Just roll it up and put it in the slide. What's the problem?
They're all gonna laugh at me!
No!
What do we have here?
Welcome to What Corner.
What world? What world? What's going on? How are you? Good to see you. I'm not seeing anybody's name, so I'm just looking at the camera. Slightly awkward in silence. The new printing method we're able to do. I guess we like to watch.
Well, we didn't get very far that time, did we? So I just want to say, Farley, you've been to the Pennsylvania Cigar Box Guitar Festival, haven't you?
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, Farley. We lost him. Make a couple more run-throughs and we'll have that one down.
See what happens when I stop drinking?
My wife came back, my dog came back, Grandpa didn't die. And
mother-in-law moved out.
Woohoo! Somebody there, J.D. Swan, said, "You got a purty guitar." Share what? Share publicly. Facebook entered drawing. Win you.
Share public you.
Win.
Share win.
Share win you public. You.
Not knowing exactly. Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Why is everything so hard? So hard. Everything. Is that? Do I sell nylon strings? Clap, clap, etc. This is a 17-inch scale, Michael. Like a tenor ukulele. Oh, something's behind me there.
Whoa! What panda?
I know Panda's here. Something's happening. Pay no attention to the panda in the doorway. That's pretty creepy to see that over your own shoulder. Like, what the heck? Right? One of the new things that I'm excited about, in coordination with Shane's Field, we designed this here slide rack that magically appeared over Glenn's torso, chest hole area. It holds slides. It's a kit. You put, oh, come on. You put it together yourself. It gets bigger. It shrinks. It's magic. It is a magic slide rack. The slide rack here, guy. Oh, look at it. You put it together yourself. It's awesome. I know the guy that designed it.
He's a great guy. He's a great slide.
Oh, great guy. Oh, he slides everywhere. He's sliding right now. Couldn't be here because he's out sliding.
I got people like you.
Everybody calm down. Nobody freak out.
Folks, until next week, keep on picking, build what you play, and play what you love.
All right.
All right. That's a wrap.
Nice job, everybody.
Thanks. There's a lot to step around here.
Hey, guys? Guys?
Hey, we're back! Surprise! So Farley had to jet out. We just got a couple more things for you. Glenn Watt's bringing the big old bass in. I got the Coke crate guitar I'm going to pull down for a quick.
Oop, I think I cut it off a little too early.
Cut it off too early? Oh well, it's done now. A little bit of bluegrass medley here. Songs that Glenn heard for the first time in a good while, about 10 minutes before. Uh-oh. Hey, everybody. All right.
So that one's not just the shit.
A couple of songs that Bill Monroe did back in the day. Ain't gonna name for song. Here we go. Well, the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Oh Lord, now the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Another man has got my woman and gone. Well, I got the blues and they're wearing out, so's my shoes. Oh Lord, now I got the blues and they're wearing out, so's my shoes. My woman went and left me with the doggone blues. Well, the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Oh Lord, now the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Another man has got my woman and gone. Well, I wish the Lord you'd bring my woman back home. Lord, now I wish the Lord you'd bring my woman back home. I ain't so lonesome, just don't want to be alone. Well, the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Oh Lord, now the road is rocky and it won't be rocky long. Another man has got my woman and gone. All right, we're going up now, ready? That's what you call modulating that thing. Well, ain't gonna work on the railroad. Ain't gonna work on the farm. Oh, no, gonna lay round the shack till the mail train gets back and I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. My Lord, I will roll in my sweet baby's arms. Oh, we're gonna lay round the shack till the mail train gets back and I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. Well, where were you last Friday night while I was laying in jail? You're walking the streets with another man and you couldn't even go my bail. Roll in my sweet baby's arms, my Lord, I will roll in my sweet baby's arms. Oh, we're gonna lay round the shack till the mail train gets back. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. One more time. Roll in my sweet baby's arms, my Lord, I will roll in my sweet baby's arms. Oh yeah, gonna lay round the shack till the mail train gets back and I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms.
Nicely done.
All right, well, thank you. Nicely done on that for songs. I tell you what, Glenn's ability to jump in on that bass on songs he doesn't even really know is very impressive. Fortunately, I don't play very complex songs, so it works out. Just a couple of I just want to briefly talk about some of the changes that have happened in the past year. You know, we reorganized pretty much all of CB Gitty, the layout, the space. We moved both of these stages, built this studio, all sorts of stuff to make the whole operation a bit leaner and meaner and better able to serve customers and make full use of all the space that we have. So that was a big deal. The new studio, all the, you know, getting the sound system set up was a pretty big deal to be able to do these shows. You helped rebuild these stages. You and Farley built this room. Farley took the lead on it, taking down this stage, which had been 50 yards away in a whole nother room, and rebuilding it. That was a good time. We've got photos of it. For me, one of the big memories of the past year was the New Orleans Cigar Box Guitar Festival back in January, and the adventure that I underwent to get there, traveling by train from Chicago down to New Orleans during a real severe cold snap through the deep south. You know, when we pulled into Memphis at about 9 a.m. on that morning, that January morning, and I think it was 8 degrees in Memphis, and then on down through Mississippi, the track welds were breaking because it was so cold. It was quite a trip. I just finished writing my memoir of that trip a couple of nights ago. I needed a few months to process all of that and why it meant so much to me. So another thing in this past year has been, well, the start of Walk Corner, which we will hopefully get back to next week. I know everyone enjoys and appreciates what you do with that.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time. All of the songbooks and things that I've been able to put together over the past year and start selling through cbgitty.com, I'm personally very, very happy. And once we're through the nicer weather, back into the winter time, I'll get back to working on the songbooks. All the new kits and tools they've been able to bring to market this year, not just bringing stuff in from elsewhere, but designing and making stuff here, which we talk about a lot and means a lot to all of us here at CB Gitty. There's actually a kit on deck. The tuners have arrived. The chrome sealed gear tuners are back. So that electric 3-string kit that Glenn Watt has taken the lead on, a complete premium electric 3-string cigar box guitar kit. Hopefully soon. Yeah, just got to lay out. The how-to guide is always the hardest part of any kit. Glenn has it all written, all the photos taken. We just got to get it laid out in a printable form. So that's coming. Another thing that's happened in the past year that I'm really happy about is bringing in products made by small batch crafters within the cigar box guitar community. The spoon slides made by Ron Hall, the smokin' bridges made by Turkey Chicken Cigar Box Guitars, the Wicked Buckers made by our buddy Marty Tauber, who was out there earlier. I don't know if he's still out there. And the ceramic slides by Janice Wilson Hughes. Just some examples of some of the products we've been able to bring to the cigar box guitar community made by members of that community. So that, in addition to the things that we design and make here in-house, for me is one of the real pride points of the whole endeavor. Another thing that happened in the past year, we already talked a lot about them, but the birth of the hobo fiddle happened in the last 12 months. So Glenn Watt, I know we've only got about a minute and a half before you got to get out of here. It's on a tight schedule. These vacation people, a tight schedule. So, looking forward, where do we go from here? Some things we've been talking about, more shows and more features from the bench, out at the workbench. We were talking about that after, was that last week's show?
Something. It's just like, I don't want to misuse the word, but it's just organic. It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's a little more freewheeling, if you will.
Not scripted so much, you know.
And it's conversational. It gives us an opportunity to hang out with Nick and with you and just have a good time and be able to exchange some information that's useful for everybody. So I think that's a really nice feature to have.
So more at the bench and more shows, more focus on how-to in some of the shows, like showing you how to do things, how to use certain tools, how to use certain parts that we happen to sell, how to install preamps or whatever. We'll try to focus on more of that. Another thing, featuring more of your content, more of your videos, and that's right in line with this this call out that we're doing. Like, send us your...
I need a reminder. Can you remind us what's going on?
Going to be giving away this hobo fiddle that I just finished this week. We're asking you, our viewers, our friends, our audience, to record short videos of you sending a shout out to the Gitty Gang. Say your name and a short message and send us that video via email over the next 3 weeks.
Which email?
cbgitty@cbgitty.com, and you'll be entered to win a hobo fiddle.
Awesome.
Which comes with a whole package of goodies.
This hobo fiddle.
Yeah, that one. King Edward finished it this week. So that is in addition to the regular giveaway we're doing of 5 $75 gift certificates to cbgitty.com for anyone who shares this show publicly on Facebook, whether during the live broadcast or afterwards. You'll be entered to win those gift certificates. Farley left. Can we get Farley back so we can do the group?
We had a moment of that, and I said I was sure that she should be back.
I will go get her if you
All right.
keep blathering on.
Oh, I got a little more blather in me, but not much.
Can I just, because I want to hear this too, but before things, get out of, not out of hand, but get away from me or anything else. No, it is really nice. I'm not going to make this all sappy and make this quick, but it's really cool to be able to, it's only been a year and a half or so that we've had the ability to live broadcast on the internet. Maybe 2 years, I don't really know that. But that we can even do that. And I know there's some people out there who are not living in the United States who are watching this right now. That to me is incredible. That we can reach
Frank from
out.
Austria is out there.
Frank from Austria, Frank CBG. I mean that Nick, Farley, Kim, Ben, everyone else here can get to just have a few moments to connect with you, to share information, to have that joy. And that every single person that's been out there has never once had a cross thing to say. Everyone has been super supportive and nice and really cool.
And when they do, we delete the comments. So.
No, but just the gratitude that we receive from you. I mean, I hope that we do at least a decent amount to reflect it back to you. That you give us your time and your attention and your energy, and that I really am grateful for the opportunity to give it back. So thank you very much for being here and for this 1 year episode. It's just awesome.
That it's been a year is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got. So we're gonna do a group sign off here, unless anybody has anything to add. Speak now or forever.
No final video?
No, there's no final video. So get everybody up here. We called Kim Starling in, and Nick's gonna.
Farley goes center. Sit down.
Farley's going center. I'm gonna sit back down. See, I mentioned Kim's organizational abilities. And Nick will get himself right up in there, in between Glenn and Farley. Scoot over this way a little bit. Nick, do you want to just jump up here?
Yeah.
Alright. Farley, it's been a while.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I said just play one chord and you're fine.
Alright. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. It's the Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. And came to you live from CB Gitty. Well, all you need is a stick, a box, and some strings.
Yeah.
Said all you need is a stick, a box, and some strings. When you get her all together, you know she's gonna ring. Well, it's Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's the Gitty Gang Show.
Gitty Gang Show.
It's Gitty Gang Show on Cigar Nation TV. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for a great year. Oh, Nick's got to go hit the button.
We're gonna be on a while.
Hey, somebody vamp.
Stretch.
Fade to that.